Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am going to be saying some very positive things about Bicester, and I'm delighted to see in the audience we have a Bicester audience, or a certain section of the Bicester audience. Give me a little cheer over there. Bicester Village chose Bicester for some very, very good reasons, and I'm sure you'll be aware of some of them, perhaps not all of them. The very first reason Bicester Village chose, or Value Retail chose, to set up their first ever outlet in the UK. In fact, it was one of the first outlets in Europe in Bicester, was, first of all, for the very physical reasons of the excellent access. And today, Bicester really still boasts even more, actually, excellent access points. Equidistant between London and Birmingham, as you know, and now boasting not one but two train stations. The only train station, Bicester Village train station, the only train station in the UK that has announcements in about 6 languages. We also run a shopping express service, which you may have seen running around London. It's like a mobile billboard, but that shopping express goes to all of the key London hotels and brings people direct to Bicester Village from there. So the access for us was very important, although Bicester itself was very little known, not very well known. I was actually born and bred in the area, and Bicester was the place I got the train to London, but that was about it. Roll forward to today, and Bicester is now known to people all over the world, partly because of Bicester Village, I'd say quite majorly because of Bicester Village, but also because Bicester is a place now that the government and many other people have identified as somewhat of a boom town, the place where it's all happening. If you want to see what's going on, if you want to see a place that's buzzing and moving forward, it's Bicester. Yes, we have great transport links, but one of the other reasons we chose Bicester as a site to develop was because it's right in the heart of the Cotswolds, in actually a very beautiful area, the edge of the Cotswolds, but also close to all those other tourist attractions, which, by no coincidence, makes for the perfect day out, the perfect weekend away. And our chairman, Scott Malkin, had that in mind. It wasn't ever going to be just a shopping centre. It was going to be a state-of-the-art destination. And today you can say, without being challenged, that Bicester Village is a tourist destination in its own right. So back to the early days, 1995, when I began actually, some of the Bicester crowd might recognise the Burgess sign. They were quite a well-known family who owned a piece of land in Bicester. And this was the site that we chose to develop Bicester Village. And it was somewhat of a spaceship that landed in the field because no one really knew what the concept was. No one really understood what the concept was of outlet shopping. And certainly as the village began to be built, this new steel frame that went up, a lot of people thought it was warehouses, but then it got more and more luxurious. And it was quite innovative in its time. And today we have 9 of these villages across Europe and actually 2 now in China. So actually, on the subject of Chinese, when did it all change for us? Well, back in 2005, I think, the visa restrictions were relaxed for the Chinese visiting the UK. And although we had tourists coming all the time, probably 20-30% domestic tourism at Vista Village, in 2005 something big happened. The first delegation of Chinese came to London on a government mission to see what the UK was like as a destination to travel to. And they all wanted to go to the iconic places such as Buckingham Palace. And very, very quickly, the Chinese cottoned on to the fact that Bicester Village was around the corner, and they whizzed around, took their photos of Buckingham Palace, and made a beeline for Bicester Village. And we literally had almost an invasion of Chinese. And that first delegation propagated just many, many more thousands, millions of Chinese visits that continue today. So that was somewhat of a turning point, but I think it was at that point that we could really recognise that Bicester Village had become an international tourist destination. As you can see, it has evolved over the years. We've had several growth periods, and I have to say, every time that Bicester Village has grown, it has been done in a way that has complemented the town and the general area, and it's been very, very important to our owner, Scott Malkin, and to the brand of Bicester Village, that it is seen very much as a partner with the region. As I said to the local community when I first joined in 1995, we come in peace. A lot of local people at that time, particularly the traders in the town, were very fearful that Bicester Village would be the death knell to the town centre. Now, obviously, town centres across the UK are suffering today. Bicester is no exception to the trends that make life for town traders very difficult, but we do work very hard to share our success and certainly to make sure that anyone that can visit the town, stay in the restaurants, use the hotels, we encourage them to do so. And this has been very much part of our partnership activity from the first day we opened, and it will continue to be that partner activity. Quick slide to show you how we analyse our nationalities that visit Vista Village. The big blue slice of cake there is China. We have a very strong visitation also from the Middle East. And then you'll see that there's quite a mix of nationalities. And Bicester Village, just like anyone else, is very, very subject to the macroeconomic trends at the moment, which are massively fluctuating. We have so many things that affect our business, particularly with the tourist travel at the moment, not least the fear of terrorism, the strength of the pound, and generally all of the things that are happening all over the world, which influence the visitation. But China is very much one of our bedrock tourism visitations, and the Middle East also a very strong attendance of those. But we are working constantly with Visit Britain, with our tour operators and partners, to really understand what the new trends are and to work actually at bringing people into the UK, not just to Bicester Village, but to bring people into the UK, going on overseas missions, sharing stands with Visit Britain and saying, if you're coming to the UK, it's not all about London. There's lots going on, and this very much ties in with the current great campaign that David Cameron has espoused, which is really about bringing people to the whole of the UK, not just to London. So there you have it, the three core markets: China, Middle East, Southeast Asia. I mentioned the great campaign, and Vista Village really has evolved as an experiential place. It's not about just shopping. This has been critical to our business model. We are the world leaders in outlet shopping as I speak. Having said that, we do have competition. The competition comes from the internet. I think this is something that the town centres have particularly suffered from, and also from just generally the way that people are discretionarily spending their time now. There are so many choices for us all. There's such a wealth of opportunities for us to do things with our money, with our time, and that's why it's critical to us that when you come and have a day at Bicester Village or in any of our villages, you have a fabulous time, that we surprise you, that we delight you, that we deliver an experience that you want to discover, rediscover, and tell your friends about, and that's very much part of our culture. We have one big fan, David Cameron. He's been very supportive, and you may have known this, but when the Chinese ambassador said to him, you know, how can I get more, when he said, how can I get more Chinese tourists to come to Bicester Village, the ambassador said, just build more Bicester Villages, which was a great soundbite that we have used time and time again. So I've talked a little bit about Bicester Village. I'm not sure how I'm going for time, but very important that we talk about Bicester Town, because I mentioned Bicester Village has gone from strength to strength. Whenever I meet anyone, it's, oh, you're growing again, you're getting bigger. Yes, we are, but actually we're part of something even more exciting, which is the town of Bicester and its place within Oxfordshire and its place within the UK. Bicester is the centre of everything that is happening right now. And my role as Community Relations Director means that I get to have a foot in each camp. I have one in Bicester Village, I have one in the town, and I hear and I feel and I experience what's going on locally, and I can see the excitement that's coming on from all the development. Many people should have discovered Bicester Village 20 years ago like we did, Bicester Town years ago like we did, but actually I believe the whole country is beginning to harness that idea that Bicester is a great place, not just for the access, not just for the fact that it's in a beautiful part of a still sleepy Oxfordshire countryside, but also because it has fantastic potential. And being part of Bicester Vision, which is the stand that is here today, is really one way you can harness that potential, because Bicester Vision has allowed Bicester Village and other stakeholder businesses in the town to really understand the challenges of working within budgets, the challenges of developing a town from an old-fashioned market town into a town that is really trailblazing for the future. And it's very exciting to be part of that, but also to hear from all 3 tiers of local government and other businesses how we can work together to make that happen. So, you know, I do have to fly the flag for Bicester Vision because it's been a huge help to us. And it would be a huge help to you if you're looking at developing a business in Bicester. So Bicester itself has undergone a huge refurbishment, the new Sainsbury's. We have a link to the town, and we have many visitors that use the town, but we also have 3,000 members of staff who use the town for their day-to-day shopping and convenience. One of the other things I do wearing my community relations hat is to make sure that we are sharing our success and that we are adding value and to understand where there is need. And I always say to my colleague Lucy, is it in Bicester? Let's look at Bicester first. If there is a need, let's make sure we look after our local community first. So we do things like supporting social initiatives. We work with many of the local charities. We have a volunteering programme. We also support cultural events. The town council are here. We like to understand what the town council are doing, how we can help support, perhaps amplify some of the things they're doing. And it's about bringing visitors to Bicester Village, but also to share the town. I am giving my 1-minute warning, so I'll whiz through. So sport is another thing that we support. And I have to just speak briefly about apprenticeships. I listened to the Oxfordshire apprenticeships earlier. We are very passionate about apprenticeships, and we work with the pipeline of the local schools to make sure that retail is an interesting career. It's a career where you can develop yourself and go on to very great things. And we have 30 apprentices at the moment working with us. We've had 200 through the scheme, and we hope to have many, many more. This is our new town station. It's called Vista Village Station, and we are getting towards 40% increase year on year with the new station open. And finally, phase 4 of our village. This is a consolidation of Bicester Village. This, I think, will be part of one of the new building blocks in the town centre, along with the business park, the housing growth, and the other operators that are coming in that will complete Bicester. So I hope I've told you something new about Bicester, but if you are looking at doing something in the area or looking to Bicester for business, do look again. It's a fantastic town with a great future. Thank you very much.